Today on People Now, tragedy strikes a family as a 19-year-old missing student is found dead. We'll tell you what police are saying about his death.
And a healthy 21-year-old bodybuilder dies just days after a flu diagnosis. We'll tell you what happened.
Ellen DeGeneres holds back tears talking to Oprah about those deadly California mudslides that brought destruction to their Santa Barbara neighborhood.
Heated competition ramping up to the Olympics. Figure skater Ashley Wagner explaining why she took issue with judges at the national championships.
Is Yolanda Hadid worried about daughters Gigi and Bella's close friendship with Kendall Jenner?
Plus, the cast of MTV's hit show Siesta Key joins us live in studio.
That and so much more all today on People Now. Happy Thursday, everyone. Let's jump right into our headlines today. The parents of Blaze Bernstein, the University of Pennsylvania sophomore, found dead on Tuesday after he was reported missing on January 3rd, have spoken out in an emotional statement after identifying their 19-year-old son's body. Blaze was home from college on winter break at the time of his death, which authorities have confirmed they are investigating as a possible homicide. Gideon Bernstein and Gene Pepper said on Wednesday during a press conference in Lake Forest, California, quote, Blaze was a brilliant, colorful, and charismatic man who shined light on all of the lives of the people and communities he touched. Needless to say, our family is devastated by the news. We, like so many of you around the world, love Blaze and wanted nothing more than his safe return. On Wednesday evening, hundreds of people gathered in Lake Forest for a candlelight vigil in Blaze's memory. The vigil was held at Borrego Park, where Blaze's body was found earlier this week. And on the Philadelphia campus of Blaze's Ivy League University, students also held a candlelight vigil to remember their classmate and friend. Carrie Braun, a spokeswoman for the Orange County Sheriff's Department, would not confirm to People how Blaze, a pre-med student in his second year at UPenn, was killed or any information about the condition of his body when it was discovered in the brush along the perimeter of Borrego Park. However, Braun did reveal to People, quote, based off what they found at the scene, they are considering it a homicide. An autopsy was to be performed on Wednesday, and Braun says a search warrant in the case was served at Newport Beach the same day. According to Braun, quote, it's a very active investigation and investigators are following up on multiple leads. The Bernstein family reported Blaze missing on January 3rd. He was home from college on winter break and was scheduled to return to school that coming Sunday. Braun says his family had seen him the evening before when they had dinner together and then went their respective ways for the evening. His parents said that in the morning, they just thought that he was sleeping in. But in the afternoon, when he missed a dental appointment, they started to become concerned and reached out to police shortly after. Braun says investigators learned that Blaze was either picked up or met a friend at Borrego Park around 11 p.m. on January 2nd, and, quote, they got separated somehow. The friend told our investigators that Blaze walked off and he didn't return. That was the last time the friend said that he saw him, end quote. The friend told investigators Blaze was headed in the direction of nearby Whiting Ranch Park when he was last seen. That's according to Braun. The friend allegedly drove off at one point, then came back to look for him, but couldn't find him. It's still unclear if Blaze had plans to meet someone else in the park. Among those who searched for him were approximately 25 members of the sheriff's search and rescue team, and the Orange County Register reported that about 15 drone pilots entered the search on Sunday. According to Braun, Tuesday's heavy rainfall in the Southern California area was ultimately what made Blaze's body more readily seen by investigators. Well, guys, an aspiring personal trainer from Pennsylvania has died from septic shock just days after experiencing flu symptoms. Kyler Baumann, an athletic 21-year-old from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, had a runny nose and looked run down when he visited his family just before Christmas on December 23rd. This is according to his mother, Beverly Baumann. Beverly told Pittsburgh news station WPXI, quote, I think he thought I just got the flu, I'll be all right, I'll just go rest a bit. A mover at a local furniture store and an employee of Walmart, Kyler returned to see his family on Christmas night, went to work the following morning, but had to leave early due to his deteriorating health. His fiancée tells WPXI that Kyler was coughing and said that his chest hurt at the time. With his cough worsening and fever rising, Kyler went to the ER on December 27th, and in less than 24 hours, he was dead from organ failure due to septic shock caused by influenza. That's according to Kyler's mother. Kyler's parents said they believe their son did not receive his flu shot this season. According to the CDC, the vaccination can lessen the chance of someone catching the flu by 10 to 60%. The CDC says most people who get the flu virus will recover in less than 14 days, but up to 650,000 deaths occur annually from respiratory diseases associated with seasonal flu. Just 10 years ago, that estimate, it was much lower, around 250 to 500,000. The CDC says this spike in cases highlights the importance of prevention. Despite their grief, Kyler's parents are speaking out to warn others about how to respond to flu symptoms. Kyler's father, Todd Baumann, saying, quote, "Don't let things go. Whenever you have a fever for multiple days, don't let it go. Get it taken care of." Great advice. Of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to that family at this tough time. Now on to this. Actor Jonathan Scheck is opening up about being molested by his Sparrow director, Franco Zeffirelli, when he was just 22 years old. Scheck shared his first-person account, exclusively with People, detailing the time in his life where famed Italian filmmaker, known for the Oscar-winning Romeo and Juliet, allegedly, quote, molested, touched, groped, and verbally abused the actor. In 1992, Scheck was in Italy filming Sparrow. In the exclusive, the actor says almost immediately, Zeffirelli began seducing him with his words, telling him how beautiful and wonderful he was. Quickly, Scheck was able to tell that the director wanted something more from him, saying that Zeffirelli would drink to extremes and become very aggressive and abusive. The actor goes on to say that almost every day Zeffirelli would tell him that he, quote, needs to be with him, and that the director would often knock on Scheck's door late at night, hoping to get in, but he would always keep it locked, until one night in Sicily when Zeffirelli got a key to his room and went into Scheck's bed. He goes on to describe the scene, saying, quote, "He molested me in my bed, put his hands in places that I couldn't even imagine, and he did things that I am not proud of, but it's not my fault. His pants never came off, but I can still see him fumbling with his belt." He went on to say, "He attempted to give me oral sex. I just remember being like, God, please no, I'm okay, I'm okay. I did nothing. I just lay there in bed. It felt like 4 hours, but it was probably like 30 seconds. Scheck accounts the night, saying that once Zeffirelli realized that he wasn't getting what he wanted, he just left, never said anything about it again. The actor says that he's buried the traumatic experience for 20-something years, the pain manifesting into alcohol, drug, and sexual addictions in his life. Scheck reveals that not until Rose McGowan came out about Harvey Weinstein did he realize that many people have had similar experiences. Rose has helped Scheck cope with his past trauma, along with his wife, Julie Solomon, who he says has changed his life. In a statement, Zeffirelli's son, Pippo, denied his father, who's now 94, verbally or sexually abused Scheck, calling the accusations, quote, not credible. His statement reading in part, "At the time, Jonathan suffered from a throat type of obstruction which made his speaking difficult. Directors have different styles, and sometimes they can be much more demanding on inexperienced actors. My father is in poor health and not able to understand this attack and to respond to the allegations made by Jonathan Scheck." We'll keep you posted on this story on People.com. Country icon Dolly Parton dropped the name Dixie from her popular dinner show, Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede, citing cultural issues as a catalyst for the revision. In a statement released Monday, Parton says the renaming was spurred by changing attitudes and that it will remove any confusion or concerns as the company hopes to expand into new markets across the country and beyond. World Choice Investments currently operates the dinner show alongside Dolly. Spokesman Pete Owens adding some of our guest comments and comments of developers in markets around the country with whom we spoke show a misconception of what our show is. They do not realize that the Stampede is a very patriotic, spectacular horse show with 32 beautiful horses as the stars. Many fans expressing frustration over the name change. One Twitter user writing, "What the hell, Dolly Parton? Dixie is not a dirty word." Another adding, "Dolly Parton, I will always love you, but I heard you change the name of Dixie Stampede, and if so, I'm so upset with you. Please tell me it ain't so." Others voicing their support for Dolly. One fan writing, "Last I checked, Americans have freedom of speech, expression, choice. She's hurting no one." And this user, hoping to keep the Twitter peace, saying people need to calm down, breathe, let Dolly handle her own companies. Wow, the madness is on overload. She loves us all. Peace on earth. I love the gift there. Perfect. I love Dolly too. All mentions of the word Dixie have been removed from the show's website and Twitter page. No specifics have been released regarding changes to the show's content. Well, guys, we all love Kendall Jenner's supermodel friendship with Gigi and Bella Hadid, but what does Mama Yolanda have to say about the famous Kard Jenner? We got the exclusive scoop. Check this out.
You know, I love Kendall.
Yeah.
I think she's amazing. I think she's a beautiful human being, and you know, I don't see her how you guys see her. I see her as my daughter's girlfriend, and she's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and she's, look, everything that the Kardashian clan does gets a lot of attention. When your daughters are kind of close to that whirlwind, do you have advice for them in that? Do you worry about that at all, or just kind of living their lives and doing their thing?
Everybody has to do their own. This is not my journey.
Yeah.
This is their journey, and you know, they're old and wise enough to know, you know, what that journey is, and they're gonna make mistakes, and they, you know, it's just, that's part of it. So.
Okay. There you go, definitely great advice. And Yolanda will be back talking plastic surgery and how she keeps those very famous daughters of hers grounded. Stick around for details on all of that. Rick Springfield revealing in a new interview on Thursday that he considered suicide as recently as last year. The The Jesse's Girl singer is opening up about his lifelong battle with depression on SiriusXM's Feedback, saying, quote, "Last year I was close to it, really close to it." He adds that when he heard about the recent suicide deaths of Robin Williams, Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, he said, quote, "I didn't go, oh, that's terrible. I went, I get it. I get being that lost and dark." He goes on to explain, "You're in so much pain that you just want it to end. I've been there and I know what it's like and I understand. It's just part of your makeup." This isn't the first time Springfield has discussed his suicide attempts. In his 2011 autobiography, Late, Late at Night, he opened up about his depression, which he calls the darkness, or Mr. D, and revealed he first tried to commit suicide when he was 17 years old. Luckily, the rope that he tried to use for a noose snapped. Springfield says having a family changed the way that he thought about suicide for a while. He said, quote, "When I had kids, I said, okay, that takes suicide off the table. That's not an option anymore. I don't care how bad I feel, but now my kids are grown. It's really weird." Going on to add, quote, "It would devastate them. I don't know how I could ever come to terms with that, but it rides on my shoulder every day." He admits it's, quote, "pretty hard," but Springfield says that he's taking steps to stay well, including taking medication and meditating. But he says that he isn't going to sugarcoat how he feels. He adds, anybody admitting, quote, "Anyone says, 'How are you doing?' I never go, 'Great.' I go, 'I'm okay, I'm there.' Sometimes I'll go, 'Bleeping horrible. I've had a terrible day.'" We've all had the social front, and it just makes me feel like such a liar when I go home and I look in the mirror and I go, "Really? You said that to somebody? That everything's great and you're actually feeling awesome? That's bleep." So he's being very honest about it. Now, if you or someone you know is considering suicide, of course, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline right away at the number on your screen. Now on to this.
And it's such a tiny little community, and nobody would have expected, certainly I did not, that after we survived the fires and the rain came, nobody, who would have expected that we would have had this devastation again with the mudslides and so soon. So
I know I was feeling so bad over the holidays for all the servers, the people at restaurants, the people that own businesses. They were losing money because of the fires, and now they're going to lose money because these businesses are just flooded with mud.
Yeah, but we're going to do what we do, what we do. We're going to come together and we're going to do what great Americans do all the time. We're going to help each other.
Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah Winfrey joined together to discuss the Montecito mudslides that have brought deadly destruction to their neighborhood in Santa Barbara County, California. On The Ellen Show, airing today, the talk show host became very emotional as she shared how she and her wife, Portia de Rossi, were forced to evacuate from their home. As of right now, at least 17 people have died from the mudslides and more than 100 homes have been destroyed. Ellen saying on her show, quote, "They're finding people and bodies," and I mean, you hear the word mudslide and you have no idea the impact that it has, but after the largest fire in California history, it's catastrophic. It is beyond recognizable. Really tragic what's happening there. I was following, and Oprah was posting videos and stuff yesterday, and then the news widespread. There were some devastating stories that are coming out of there with that mudslide. And
yeah, and California has been hit so hard, and obviously our thoughts go out to everyone affected by all of this.
Yeah, some other things going on. Ivanka Trump posted a happy birthday post for her husband, Jared Kushner. It sparked a bit of frenzy online. She's seen holding her tummy in the photo. She wrote this: "Happy birthday, Jared. Thank you for being the most amazing father, husband, best friend I could have dreamed of. Here's to you."
Yeah, now, of course, because she's holding her belly, commenters took the post as a pregnancy announcement. They started congratulating her.
A little confusing.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's not pregnant. A Trump source tells people the photo was a throwback from her last pregnancy.
And then after the speculation started swirling for a bit, she updated the caption on the Instagram with #throwback, which was kind of a key piece there. That would have avoided a lot of the confusion.
Well, it's confusing. If I saw the post, I would have immediately thought, oh, wow, she's holding her belly.
It's one of those things where, like, sometimes it's like one of my kids has a birthday or something. It's like I'll throw up a picture of them that's like as a little kid or something. So you don't see it for what it is, and everyone misinterprets. Crazy. All right, another photo people are talking about on Twitter.
This one's really good.
Let's see this.
I love this one.
The sexy kangaroo.
Soon.
Here comes. Sexy kangaroo causing a stir in Australia.
So a tourist in a national park near Perth, Australia, took this picture. They were trying to use the bathroom, and it was stopped because a kangaroo was striking a sexy pose in the entrance, so they couldn't get through.
I mean, imagine.
What would you do?
I would do exactly that.
Take a picture, yeah.
Take a picture. Like, this kangaroo came out, was like, guys, I'm just going to relax right here, and nobody's going to bother me.
I saw one person on Twitter, they tweeted, "Roo la la." Get it? I really like that. I thought it was
And we have a funny meme. People are posting all kinds of them, as you can imagine. By the way, you got to be careful with kangaroos. They kick, as we've seen in previous viral things. Who wore it better, me or the kangaroo?
The kangaroo.
Kangaroo definitely wore it better. That's too forced. Kangaroo.
I wish I could see that someday, a kangaroo posing like that. That would
natural.
be life made.
Amazing.
Yep.
And believe it or not, there's even more trending news beyond the sexy kangaroo. Andrea Boehlke.
Yes, we're talking about some grills, Jeremy. We're kicking off Star Trek today with a little bit of Kardashian bling. Kim Kardashian West showed off her newest grill that reads Kim on her Snapchat and Instagram stories on Wednesday. Now, this is the first time the Keeping Up the Kardashian star has been seen showing off her accessories since she was robbed in Paris in October of 2016. Having opted for more understated jewelry recently, the mother of two was last seen showing off a grill on Instagram just 4 days before her Paris robbery. The photo of her gold and diamond grill was shared on September 29, 2016, and even showed off her $4 million ring that was stolen, along with 2 diamond Cartier bracelets, a gold and diamond Jacob necklace, Lorraine Schwartz diamond earrings, a gold Rolex, and other items. The thieves, who, according to Kim, tied her up with plastic cables and tape, took approximately $10 million worth of jewelry and her 2 cell phones. A source recently told People that Kardashian West does not keep any expensive possessions in her new Hidden Hills, California home, saying, quote, "Ever since the Paris robbery, Kim has made many changes in her life. She is much more careful about being flashy." Going on to say, "It's a new year with a new house and more changes. Kim loves her new house. She wants to create the safest, best place for the kids." Along with their security team, Kim and Kanye have made plans to keep intruders out. Their new property is huge and requires even more 24/7 security staff. To keep the house safer, Kim doesn't want expensive possessions like jewelry at the house. Well, Kim has spoken out since the incident about being a, quote, different person. She wants to keep her new home with Kanye West and their 2 children, North and Saint, very safe. Well, it is a girl for Las Vegas alum Vanessa Marcille. The 49-year-old actress confirmed the happy news on Monday, sharing a sweet photo of her pup snuggling up to her baby bump with the caption, "The Girls." The baby will be the second child for Vanessa, who shares a 15-year-old son with the former Beverly Hills 90210 castmate Brian Austin Green. The star first revealed she was pregnant in November, posting a sweet photo of her fiance planting a smooch on her cheek. Vanessa referenced her struggles with infertility in the caption, writing, "It's baby time. After 6 miscarriages, we are saying prayers for OPM, aka our precious miracle." Well, very happy for her. Speaking of growing families, Maria Menounos went big with her New Year's Eve surprise wedding. The former E! News host shocked audiences as she and her longtime beau, Kevin Undergaro, exchanged vows in freezing New York City temperatures live on Steve Harvey's New Year's special. But now that the two have officially tied the knot, are there plans to start a family? 39-year-old Menounos reveals in this week's People that the couple are considering surrogacy as an option, but for the moment, they're very happy with their 4 dogs. I would be too. And in the interview out Friday, Menounos says that right now she's focusing on future projects and taking the time to feel grateful for her return to good health after the host underwent surgery this past summer for a benign brain tumor. Thankfully, Maria's health scare is in the past, and it seems like nothing can get in the way of her wedded bliss. She tells People, "There's so much love coming at us. You can't really wipe the smile off of our faces now." Well, we love to hear that. And those are your Star Treks for today.
Stay with us, guys. The cast of MTV's hit show Siesta Key joins us live. They're answering all our burning questions ahead of next week's winter premiere. Plus, momager Yolanda Hadid talking plastic surgery and how she keeps her daughters grounded.
But first, it's time for Oh,
Snap.
Well, 3 is a crowd. Just ask Drew Barrymore. The actress adopted not 1, but 3 rescue kittens and shared the photo on Instagram on Wednesday. Drew only meant to adopt 1. Look at those adorable little kitties. I mean, who could blame her?
Can't say no to those.
She adopted 1 for herself, 1 for her 5-year-old daughter Olive, and 1 for her 3-year-old daughter Frankie. The felines are named Lucky, Peach, and Fern. I like those names. All girls, which Drew calls the hashtag Girl Gang. Very cute.
Super cute. Princess Kate is fully into her 2nd trimester and pulled an old maternity reliable out of the closet during a London outing on Wednesday. She wore a blue floral print dress that she also wore during the same point in her pregnancy with Princess Charlotte, but I didn't need to tell you that you already knew. On the left is the Duchess back in 2015. Coming up, here it comes, while expecting Charlotte, and then on the right is her pregnant with baby number 3 in 2018. Besides her hair being longer in 2015, really not much has changed in 3 years. Kate styled the dress almost identically both times. She looks as beautiful now as she did back then. Good for her.
And they grow up so fast, don't they, Idris Elba? Look at them. The British actor threw a sweet 16th birthday bash for his oldest child, daughter Isan, in Atlanta on Saturday. Idris proudly stood by his daughter's side and is taken aback by how quickly his little girl is growing up, saying, quote, "Isan is 16 today. What? I'm so proud of my little mommy. I'm very lucky to have her in my life. I love you, Dad." To top things off, Idris surprised her with a performance of Everyday We Lit by rapper YFN Lucci. Well, great job, Dad.
You're still at Juliette, so why the f are you talking to me right now?
I'm just
tired of being the nice guy.
Kelsey was at Garrett's house all night last night and spent the night there.
You didn't hook up? She just stayed at your house till 7 in the morning. You're so full of shit.
So the beach? Yeah, it's beautiful. But some things are starting to get ugly.
She's a bitch!
Oh, bathing suits, beaches, and a whole lot of drama. What more could you want? Nothing more. MTV's Siesta Key is back next week. We're joined by some of the cast to let us know what we're in for this time around. Welcome, Juliette, Kelsey, Garrett, and Brandon. Thank you for being here, you guys. How are you?
Good.
I'm great. I know you guys have been like hitting the town, having a good time in New York.
Yes.
Very excited about that. First thing first, when you watch that trailer, you see the drama, do you think, man, what did I get myself into? Or are you used to watching yourself? Is it weird watching that all play out?
It's not weird watching myself anymore, but it is weird knowing that I did some of the stuff I did. And then the regrets, and I'm like, seeing that all over again, and I'm like, wow, I wish I thought things through a little more.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I think it's awesome. I think it's really entertaining, and I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, it's
I'm so excited.
I think it's crazy to like relive the situations. It's like, okay, I thought that was in the past, but now I'm having to like rewatch it.
That's kind of the bad part of it too. We're like, oh, we have to go back to that. I thought that was
I've done
over
reality
with.
TV as well, and it's like the worst, like waiting for that. A lot of people are saying that this show is Laguna Beach round 2. Celebs are even weighing in. I don't know if you saw this, Seth Rogen tweeting, I'm enjoying Siesta Key, but Alex is no Steven, so it's not as easy to get behind all the shenanigans as it was with Laguna. I mean, people have made these comparisons. How do you feel about the comparisons?
That was the coolest part of the first part of season 1. I mean, we all were like, Seth Rogen watches this show. Like that was the coolest thing, and I loved him. So I was so excited to see that.
Yeah, even though he's saying it's no Laguna Beach, you still like it because it's Seth Rogen.
Exactly. Seth Rogen.
Exactly.
Now, did you guys watch Laguna Beach? Who do you think would be your Laguna Beach counterpart if we're going down that route?
I'm Kristen.
Okay.
Everyone says that too.
To be honest, I didn't actually watch it.
That's fine.
I'm not really sure.
He's Steven.
Yeah.
Steven?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, you know. Yeah, you're a Kristen. That's a good
I think
thing.
I'm a Kristen.
Now,
yeah.
watching this show, I mean, I feel like I need a map or a graph to kind of track all the relationships.
Because I think we do too.
Yeah,
honestly.
it should be like a master
like,
class
oh God.
on it. It gets confusing. But from watching the trailer, we'll go off of that. Seems like, you know, Juliette, you two are dating. But Garrett, you also dated Kelsey in the past. So this is a love triangle right here.
Yeah.
We'll get Brandon, we'll get to you later. Don't
I'm
worry.
on the end.
Now you're sitting together here now. But Kelsey, what kind of tension are we going to see moving into the next couple weeks?
A whole lot of tension. It definitely, I didn't expect it at all to be as extreme as it was. And now looking back, I'm like, okay, that went down that way, but
Yep.
you gotta move forward.
When we see in the first episode too, Garrett, we see some trouble in paradise. I'm not sure how you, if you think you handled this the right way, but basically you two spent the night together. You insist nothing happened, and then obviously Juliette finds out. She's super pissed. Looking back at that situation, how do you think you handled it? What would your grade for yourself be?
Don't ask me.
I'd say like a B.
A B.
So like a B?
A B.
At least, yeah. At least you didn't give yourself an A.
What would you give him? I don't think it was a B.
I'd say, you know what? He could have handled it worse. Let's
Okay.
just say that. Let's just say that.
Okay. Now, I know this is like really putting you guys on the spot, but you're all here together. What's the situation now? Do you still have feelings for Juliette and for Kelsey?
Let it out.
Really get that triangle going.
Don't say something you're gonna regret.
I mean,
also.
I guess whenever you're with somebody, you always will have feelings.
All right. Well, we'll have to stay tuned to see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, this has got to be weird for you, and you as well, though. I mean, you've had to deal with this. No one wants to be around their boyfriend's exes. It's like the worst thing ever. It brings out all your insecurities. How do you handle that? Because you've had to deal with that with Kelsey and with Madison. Obviously, both gorgeous girls. Like, that's not easy.
Luckily, Kelsey and Madison aren't very aggressive people. So I think Kelsey and I both know we're acknowledging that being around
There's
each other is
tension,
weird.
no matter
and I think
what,
we're just
but-
trying to be mature about it. I mean, you know, we're on this trip together. We don't want to make things weird for Brandon and Garrett. So as of now, I think we're just kind of trying to be polite.
It's good there's like people between us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a good thing that Garrett's sitting right here.
Yeah,
Like, in
just
between.
stay there.
Yeah,
Right.
don't move.
All right, Brandon, your turn.
So, I'm on the spot?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're on the spot. Now,
See,
last
here we go.
episode, we saw you and Madison finally get together. But then there's some trouble in paradise because newbie Candace, you two kind of start flirting.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your relationship with Madison? Is this going to happen?
I'm so ready. I mean, I've been ready. I've been in a relationship with Madison, and this season there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah, no, Alex admitted that he had feelings for Madison in the season finale. So how does that affect your friendship with Alex?
It's just sort of, there's a lot of times that I got like thrown off by like things that Madison wouldn't bring up, and it'd be like her behind the scenes with Alex doing something, not like doing something, but like she'd come to me and be like, hey, I was just with Alex the other day, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, all right. What were you doing?
You back yeah. Well, lucky you have a national TV show. You can actually watch what they were doing.
Exactly. I could be like, all right.
You're like, all right, we'll see, we'll wait.
Find out one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, exactly.
Alex's jaw was wired shut. Seems like drama follows him everywhere. How does that come into play this season? Or, you know, what kind of part does he play this season, Alex?
I think that with his jaw, that kind of gave him a wake-up call, and he realized, you know, his actions have to change a little bit. But I think that that was really hard on him, and it made him take a step back and kind of reevaluate his life and stuff like that. So you'll see a lot from him as well.
Yeah, now a lot of us heard about you guys after this controversy. I mean, a few days before Siesta Key premiered, there was this video of men dragging a shark through the water. Now, Alex was linked to someone in the video.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we got dragged into that situation, but we move forward. That's nothing that's on our mind right now.
Because you guys got a lot of hate. Has the storm settled a little bit? I'm sure that was
over with.
Yeah,
it settled a lot.
We had nothing to do with that. I'm not gonna get
Neither
into
did
it at
he.
all.
I mean, he wasn't even a suspect, so.
Exactly.
Does it make, because yeah, he wasn't even involved in it, and then all of a sudden everything was, all you guys are dragged into it.
Right.
Does that make you kind of think twice on what you post on social media? How do you go about that?
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm always aware.
I've always been
like,
cautious.
Right.
Yeah. Anything on media will, like,
we don't want
follow
to
you
offend
forever.
anyone. We watch what we say. Everything. People get offended easily these days. So you have to watch what you say all the time. Even if you're not on social media, just whoever you're speaking with. You have to make sure you're careful.
Now you've all gained a huge platform. You have a lot of followers out there on Instagram and Twitter. If you could go back, what's the one thing you would tell yourself before you got into all of this, before the camera started rolling? What's one piece of advice down the line?
Think before you speak.
That's really good for everyone.
Don't put yourself in a sticky situation.
Okay. Maybe no love triangles would be your advice. What about you, Kelsey?
I would say just to be confident in yourself and like brush off the hate no matter what, because people are gonna hate you like and love you no matter what.
Yep.
I would just say go all out, lay it all on the line, and then watch it and see what you can do better.
Yeah, I think you take this the easiest. Yeah,
Right?
he enjoys this the most.
I love it.
So guys, thank you so much. It's a really fun show, and congrats on everything. And you guys, make sure to catch the return of Siesta Key on Monday, January 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern on MTV.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift, and Sarah Jessica Parker and Liam Hemsworth, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story.
Ashley Wagner appeared on the Today Show Wednesday and made it crystal clear that she has no regrets about her heated reaction to disappointing scores at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, scores that kept her from making the 2018 Winter Olympic team.
You've been criticized after you spoke about the judges, and some people said, oh, she was a poor sport, oh, she should have been more gracious. I know you said you stand by what you said, but right now, if you had a chance to unring the bell and just say, maybe I'd change my tone, some of the words, would you have changed any of it?
Pressure.
Not one thing.
No, I don't think so. I think that, you know, I have a lot of experience in this sport, and I know what I consistently, you know, skate like and where I usually fall. So I'm allowed to question things, but question things only in relation to myself. I think that these girls earn their spots, and I am so excited to be able to kind of take a step back and cheer on Team USA.
Now, the 26-year-old bronze medalist finished 4th in Saturday's national championships. Back in 2014, Wagner also finished 4th, but was bumped onto the Olympic team by a committee vote. That did not happen this time. Wagner went on to tell Hoda and Savannah that, although she felt the right skaters were chosen based on their technical scores, which awards or deducts points for jumps, spins, and step sequences, she took issue with her component score, which judges award based on the most artistic aspects of the routine. The 3 women who were chosen to compete for the United States in Pyeongchang next month are Brady Tennell, Karen Chen, and Mirai Nagasu, the skater who Wagner beat out for a spot at the Olympic team back in 2014. Well, despite her frustrations, Wagner must now settle for the role as first alternate for Pyeongchang and says, quote, "If that phone call comes my way, I'll be ready to go." And figure skating veterans and NBC Sports commentators Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir stopped by People Now this week and gave their take on all the drama.
We both really thought that she would be our, the U.S.'s biggest hope for a medal or on the podium or at least a really good finish. And I think as the season progressed, her results started to drop. And by the time you got to nationals and all these other skaters were skating lights out, you had Mirai Nagasu who added the triple axel, which will probably be the only triple axel we'll see at the Olympic Games. It became, I think, a very hard decision for the judges to once again take her from 4th and put her on a team, and they would have had to remove Mirai Nagasu once again. So, for it to happen twice, I think that's why it didn't happen. I do think there's 2 scores, a technical score and a component score. I do think her component score was judged a bit low.
Well, Johnny Weir, meanwhile, minced no words when he told People that he believes Wagner was, quote, a lot more bark than bite, and that she wasn't able to skate up to the big game she was talking this season. He also put it all into perspective for us, saying losing is just part of the game.
The Olympics are the biggest deal that there is in figure skating and in any niche sport. So you really have to field a team that's going to do well, but somebody's feelings are always going to get hurt. That's what sports are all about. If it's, the Patriots lose to somebody, the Patriots' feelings are hurt. It's the same thing.
Welcome to New York!
The girls were just so cute because they started crying and screaming, and they were so excited and just, it was such a nice surprise. I mean, I didn't know if I could manage to get my girls there because they are in such a crazy schedule, and somehow it just magically fell into place and they showed up and we, got to do some great things. But I really think it's important for my girls to give back to the next generation as well.
Yep, teenage girls, modeling, momagers. What could possibly go wrong? Yolanda Hadid is sharing all her secrets in Lifetime's new series, Making a Model, where 6 young girls, plus their moms, travel to New York City to pursue the ultimate model's dream. But before they can become the next Gigi or Bella, Yolanda must prepare them for the cutthroat world of fashion, a boot camp that she is already used to giving her 2 very famous daughters.
I think that that's my job as a mother, is to make sure that I keep my girls grounded and provide an environment where that's possible. I mean, that's why we got a farm. That's where they ride horses and feed the cows and go and get eggs from the chickens in the morning, because that reminds them of who it really is that they are, the core of their being. And if you look at that perspective and then the criticism of the world, you can go like, okay, well, this is who I really am, and you're judging me from pictures or little snippets of words that I spoke. And so, but it's a learning process, and I'm learning as well as I go, because in my time when I was modeling, there was no social media.
Sure.
So today, that's a tough thing to navigate, and we don't really know in research yet how that truly affects our children. But I think that if we really dig deep, that this is really changing that generation of, you see a lot more anxiety, depression, and we need to think about that.
And guys, of course, along with social media comes the stigma of plastic surgery. So what does Miss Hadid think about the pressures of cosmetic procedures?
Not only for young models. I mean, that is why I was so public about removing my breast implants, because I was one of those girls that I thought I needed to have implants to be sexy. But whoever thought about that idea? I thought that was a very important story to share. And like I always said to my girls, it's all about being authentic and embracing who you are and how God put you on this planet.
Guys, Cookies for Kids Cancer is a nonprofit dedicated to raising funds for research to develop new treatments for pediatric cancer, the #1 disease killing children in the United States. Founded by Gretchen and Larry Witt, they started the nonprofit not long after their son Liam was diagnosed with cancer at just 2 years old. The idea for the organization sparked in 2007 during Liam's remission. With their son's improved health, they threw a huge bake sale that raised over $420,000 for cancer treatments. Cookies for Cancer was officially born in 2008. Now, unfortunately, Liam's cancer returned that same year. He passed away in 2011 at just 6 years old. Now, nearly 7 years after the loss of Liam, though, Cookies for Kids Cancer is encouraging people across the world to be a good cookie. We are pleased to be joined by Gretchen Witt, co-founder of Cookies for Kids Cancer. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are you, Gretchen?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you.
Good, good. Now, you started Cookies for Kids because of your son, Liam, obviously. Can you explain, though, why Cookies really resonated with you as a vehicle for raising money for treatments for pediatric cancer?
Absolutely. Nobody wants to talk about kids who get cancer. I mean, people would prefer to talk about anything other than children who are battling cancer, let alone cancer alone. So we wanted to come up with a way to connect people with the story that wouldn't be scary. And who doesn't love a good cookie? And who doesn't like to talk about good cookies, whether it's a person or whether it's an actual cookie? So it really was a way to try and introduce a really difficult topic that wasn't scary and wouldn't frighten people off.
Sure. And for a little background here, when your son was in remission, you learned that a treatment for his neuroblastoma existed, but it lacked the $2 million in funding that it needed. The drug became available 7 months after Liam passed. It's now available for kids being treated for cancer like Liam's. But Gretchen, since 2008, your organization has raised over $15 million to make sure situations like yours don't happen again to other families. How do you use that money to fund research, and what types of research have you been able to fund?
Sure, absolutely. So a couple things to note. We've granted nearly $15 million. There have been more than 100 research projects that we have helped to fund. Of the projects that we have funded, they've resulted in 37 of those projects now becoming treatments that children can receive today. It's important to note that we don't just support the kind of cancer that Liam had, because all pediatric cancers are awful. And the heartache that I feel as a mom who lost my child is the same heartache that any other mother or father or loved one of another child battling cancer feels. So for me, it was more important to fund the most promising research versus one specific kind of pediatric cancer.
Yeah.
We have gone on to support the top leading research centers across the country: Memorial Sloan Kettering, Dana-Farber, St. Jude, Texas Children's Cancer Center, University of California in San Francisco, and Seattle Children's. I think I might have missed one, but I wasn't counting on my fingers.
It's definitely a widespread impact that you're having with this movement and this organization. It's been about 10 years since you and your husband first started the organization. How have you personally seen Cookies for Kids Cancer impact a child's life? Is there a story that sticks out to you?
Oh, absolutely. Which is one of the most amazing things. I mean, to know that there's something that you can do to impact a child's life it leaves you speechless. But I can tell you about a little girl who is the same age as my daughter, who is thriving and surviving because of a treatment that we helped to fund. And she was one of the very first patients to receive that treatment. She had a great response, and today loves to play tennis and is dressing up and going to dances and doing the things that any child should be allowed to do. I mean, isn't it? Kids are supposed to grow up. Kids are supposed to have a future, because you never know if they're going to turn out to be the next, president, the next leader of an amazing business. You just don't know. But one thing, research doesn't happen with hopes and good wishes. Research happens with funding.
Yeah, and that's such an important part of this message. Where can people find out more information about Cookies for Kids Cancer, and how can they donate?
Absolutely. So they can go to our website, cookiesforkidscancer.org. They can also go to Instagram, to any one of the social media sites, and they can sign up to host their own bake sale, host their own event. Maybe they're not a baker, but maybe they like to run. They can have a 5K. Maybe they're really into bowling. It really doesn't matter what you do. The point is just to get involved and to be a good cookie.
Well, Gretchen, you're so inspiring. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for all the help that you're bringing to so many families.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We can't do what we do without you. So thank you.
Well, such an inspiring story there, and amazing that Gretchen's been able to raise so much money. All right, coming up tomorrow, People's Royals correspondent is breaking down everything you need to know about the adorable Princess Charlotte's new nursery school. Plus, supermodel Ashley Graham reveals her favorite Instagram follow and opens up about how social media has helped her career. Well, thank you so much for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Yolanda Hadid. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Yolanda Hadid, and this is One Last Thing. The last TV show I binge-watched was Making a Model. After months of deliberation, I finally found my 5 girls, and I hope that one of them is going to be a superstar. The last song stuck in my head is You'll Think of Me by Keith Urban. Take your records, take your freedom.
Take your memories, I don't need them. Take your space and take your reasons. But you think of me.